So I would like to thank, first of all, our hosts here, Mr. Mehmet Kilic and Zafer Akin. I would like to thank our honorable guests for being here. It's a really impressive a team of people here from Balkans. I'm very proud to be among them. I also would like to thank all of you for coming here and taking your time in the middle of this hectic Manhattan to listen to what's going on and what we can do about Balkans. I'm a physicist, and as a physicist, we know that chemical reactions or any reactions happen on the interface of the phases. So if this table is going to oxidize, now it's a lecture in chemistry, but if it's going to oxidize on the surface. It's not going to start from the bulk. And same goes with the nations. Okay, if any interaction is going to happen, that interaction is happening on the borders of the countries. Now, when we talk about Balkans, these are not the borders of the countries only, and there are many countries in a very small place. It's also borders of civilizations. And it's like tectonic plates that you have underneath the crust of the earth. Whenever these tectonic plates move, you get the earthquake there. And that's what's happening in the Balkans for the last so many hundreds of years. We have got Slovenia, which is 2 million people. We've got Kosovo, which is about the same. Macedonia, which is 2 million. The average size of a nation in the world is about 40 million. Okay, so all the countries in Balkans are sub-level countries in terms of the population, in terms of the size. It's very hard to move from one place to the other. It's very hard to actually go from Slovenia to Bosnia. You have to cross 3-4 borders. To go from Dubrovnik, which is in Croatia, to Split, which is in Dubrovnik, you have to cross 2 borders, through Neum, which is really ridiculous. So this is a very, very interesting place in the world. The borders between nations are usually the huge seas, the deserts, the mountain ranges, but here you have intensive man-on-man interaction from all sorts of cultures, from Islamic cultures, from Christian cultures. Even Jews have found their home there, lots of Jewish people there, coming from Spain and so forth. So now the question is, obviously we had so many wars. It also gives us, it's also a blessing because we have so much diversity. You go from one village to another, and there is totally different culture, totally different religion, totally different customs, and it's also something very positive, very beautiful, because it's not, at least it's not boring in the Balkans, never, ever. That's one of the, if you go from here to Seattle, you go thousands of miles, it's the same McDonald's, same Walmart, same highway, same, thing, but you go there from village to village, totally different. Even the climate is totally different. You go from Sarajevo to Mostar, and the climate is just totally. You go from a snowstorm to a Mediterranean. So this is our final. Well, that's a good excuse. I had one guy. One time I had my friend. My friend was very, very diligent. He was coming always on time. Never ever would he come late. And then once he came late, he did not come at all, actually. And I said, what is the excuse? I mean, what could be the excuse for him? And then I met him later on. He says, I was dead. And he was literally dead. He was so exhausted. He got into coma, and clinically he was dead. And I said, that's a very good excuse. I mean, being a dad is... So our friend Farid Hoxha was at UN. It's more than good excuse. So we were talking about the Balkans, and the question is now, how do we go further from here? Now we are coming in the phase of this information revolution is all around us. The whole world is becoming globalized. We are on the other side so chopped off in the little pieces in the Balkans. How do we compete with the rest of the world? How do we compete with China? How do we compete with India? How do we compete? How do we survive in this globalized world? That is a question